everybody, and welcome back to the European Masters. Karmine Corp strike first blood in this series, but it is a best of 3, and it is now in UCAM's camp for them to try and answer out. Otherwise, their time here at the European Masters will draw to a close. Now, UCAM have chosen red side in this game, so switching things up. Orcs, what do you think that really does for this game in this series?
I think it's a great decision, most importantly, because one of the problems with having K-Corp on red side is it allows them counter pick for likes of Adam. You had the Camille, which he was able to pick last pick. He knows he knows what he's dealing with, and he had so much success on that. They put so many resources into him, and he just completely took over the game. So it denies that possibility, and obviously gives UCAM their own ability to potentially give some good lane matchups to them. Seraphine, they've been banning it every game, no surprise. K-Corp probably going to continue with the Thresh ban, as it's something they've been banning frequently, but they are going to follow up with the Gnar they banned last time. And the Hecarim is a new ban. Obviously, that was the jungler Hadess was playing in game 1.
It's the first Hecarim we're not going to see today. Every game has included some kind of a Hecarim. It's going to be the Rise ban once again from UCAM, so denying that from Saken. Or potentially Adam is a flexible pick. See what the final ban is. It is going to be that fresh you highlighted, Orcs. And now I'm questioning whether or not we see something like a Jinx, a Kai'Sa banned away, because it feels like xMatty kind of gets the pick of the litter, really, here on the AD carries. And UCAM maybe just wanted to leave one or the other open and maybe looking to ban something different.
No, same bans as last time. They go for the Renekton again, because obviously we saw a Rome on the Renekton, how much damage you can do, and Adam definitely capable of that. With Hecarim banned away, typically we see Udyr as an answer, but as a standalone pick, still very successful. Cinkrof have to take, he had a great game 1, and now UCAM looking at answer. Big changes I want to see is I want to see them playing more heavily through bot side. When K-Corp lost to Sup in that game 1, it's because their bot side got shut down, xMatty fell behind, Targamas couldn't roam. So pick a bot lane where you're able to provide for it, not Ezreal Rakan, and then play towards it. You have counter pick, so it means that Dreedy can take something that's safe in the top lane. I would prefer them to do that, although, yeah, okay, so Kai'Sa in the bot lane, already a good start, something you can be aggressive with in the bot lane, and I think jungle could be okay to pick here, support's an option as well, but I think leave support counter pick for 3rd pick or later on.
Questioning what they're going to pick up as their jungler. We've seen things like the Irelia as well kind of rear its head a little bit as an answer to these fast clearing Udyrs and Hecarims, and you can kind of just going through the options right now, figuring out what they're going to look to put on in the jungle and probably in the bot lane. But actually, they're going to pick themselves the Orianna for Baca, so getting themselves a pretty solid mid lane pick here. That might throw a bit of a kind of a curveball towards KC. Do they go for a solid bot lane? Do they pick something like a Viktor that can deal with the Orianna in lane? Do expect to see xMatty's AD carry here. Things like the Jinx are open to him. The Varus is open. There's a lot of powerful AD carries up and available right now. It's quite hard to call exactly which one he's going to go for, but the Jinx has kind of been the team fighting one. We saw xMatty just have a fantastic game on it in the last game, so it makes sense that he's going to pick that one up. And now I am genuinely curious whether or not we see them just get a really solid bot lane and kind of forsake mid a little bit, or if they look to get something good for Saken.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Saken has a pretty wide pool, but his primary picks, the one he's played most in EU Masters, have been Orianna and Ryze, which is obviously off the cards. I don't think you'd be too concerned. I think you have to take, I mean, they can go for the support in this situation. My question really for UCAM is what jungler they're going to pick in this situation, because Hecarim syncs really well with the Kai'Sa and Orianna, but obviously that's been banned away. You want to really be diving onto xMatty in this situation, and they're actually going to go straight in for the Skarner. This is something that Hadess has played before in EU Masters. And in terms of what it offers in team fights, it is going to do more than Udyr in the late game. In terms of skirmishing, I feel like it actually can kind of hold up a little bit better than the Hecarim in the early levels, although obviously Hecarim gained so much momentum after that 6. But either way, definitely something that you can use to play around the bot lane. A lot of ganking pressure even early with that stun.
Well, we're into the second ban phase now. UCAM going to take away that Olaf once again. We did see that as a ban in the last game, and maybe UCAM just continue their bans, same as last time. But for now, KC looking to take away most likely some supports that will be able to handle the Leona. Things like, I mean, you can go for Rakan's probably not a really good ban here. They are just going to ban away the Camille.
Yeah, I like that. I think you know that UCAM have the potential with counter pick. Dreedy is someone who will definitely play that Camille. And if he does, even if he falls behind the laning phase, he can still come back stronger later on. So it makes complete sense for UCAM. I don't think the Darius is too much of a concern here. I feel like into Kai'Sa or Orianna, I wouldn't be too worried, but they are just going to ban it away anyway. So still not want to deal with these picks. And I think particularly when I look at picks that you're expected to play against when you're generally, you know, playing teams in E-Masters, Olaf and Darius top aren't really coming up that often. It's very specific to Adam. So I doubt you can have too much practice into these as a team. So happy just to take them off the cards. Don't want to risk things.
The final ban will be the rail, so it will be an answer out in that support pool, and now UCAM probably going to pick up that support here and then just look for the counter pick for Dreedy in the top lane. Unless there's something particularly spicy, they want a blind pick in the top. So expecting this just to be that support. I'm curious to see what support they decide to go for Plasma. So it has obviously been trimmed out a little bit with the Fresh, the Rel, the Seraphine, and obviously the Leona taken away.
I think probably Rakan is something he leans on quite a bit, and not really sure on this one. I don't know why you need to save your support pick to last pick. You already kind of know what you know what you're dealing with in the bot lane. I guess maybe you're looking for what will round out your composition, but I feel like one of the big things with having red side was that you could mean Dreedy could see what he was dealing with in the top lane and pick something that can at least remain safe and hold up against it, but you've kind of just given that away. Would make complete sense to take the Viktor here, look to match the priority in the mid lane, super strong backline for Corp, and then really just comes down to what Adam wants to round out with. There's still options available. We've seen him play more aggressive picks. We've seen him play things like Eargot, things like the Irelia, which is still available. It really sort of depends what Corp want.
When the timer down, they are thinking about it a little bit. I genuinely think that Aatrox pick probably caught them a little bit off guard. Not really expecting them just to blind pick it, but looks like there will be an answer here for Adam, who's going to take himself the Irelia in the top lane. So this is going to be an explosive top side. And once again, I do expect to see KC look to play through Adam. He was being a star player for the entirety of this tournament. That last game had a fantastic showing on the Camille over Dreedy, and they're just going to round out the comp build with Alistar for the side of UCAM. So, Orcs, talk to me about these comps. What are you favoring? What you like? What you dislike? Let's start with KC. What are they doing?
So I think for KC, it's very much you can still enable Adam in the top side. In the late game, you have these two hyper carries who have a lot of range, who can just kite back, peel back, and really powerful team fighting potential. Once body starts to get resets, same again, can plow through. Compared to last game though, not as much global pressure, so not as easy a time as Snowball Adam in the top side, and also the Irelia can be very feast to famine. Unlike the Camille, you can't just use your hook shot to get away. If you are committing to a play, you're kind of committed, and so as a result, it's a bit more finicky for Corp, but still a lot of strength. For UCAM, however, a big improvement. You have a bot lane that you can really play around. Early levels, they are going to lose in priority a little bit, but you can just force around the bot lane. You have a Skarner, and it should literally be every time your ult's available, you're looking to make a play on the map. Orianna is going to be fine in that matchup in the mid lane. Top lane, still potentially a concern, but really it's just a matter of Dreedy holding on.
But is the Skarner tax as well, which in case you have to play around, they do need to think about getting those QSSs, especially on that key backline in Saken and xMatty, because if they are pulled out and caught out of position and the Impale comes down, things will get really, really dicey for KC. But we're on to the Rift for game number 2 of this series. KC were able to win in 28 minutes in the last game. They had a very dominating game. UCAM need to fire back. They are Spain's last hope here in this tournament. One of these teams will be going through to play versus BTXL from the NLC in tomorrow's finals.
I think a big difference as well is with that lack of global pressure, we were talking about making the plays around bot lane, shutting down bot, not just to put Maddie behind, but to make it so Targamas can't roam. That wasn't as easy last game because you had the Twisted Fate and the Galio. They don't have to do much to be able to roam. They can just move a little bit and then you're in the ult range. But here, if Targamas is roaming, you have a much longer distance to walk. You don't have that level 6 ability just to instantly join in with a fight. So I feel like more than ever, UCAM should be looking to capitalize. And again, I think Hadess did a good job last game of mitigating the pressure that comes from facing against Udyr. I think his pathing was intelligent, but he needs more proactivity. I think game 1, UCAM's plan was, let's just try and survive and be relevant in the mid game, but you can't do that against Corp.
No, you can't. As Cinkrof going to start on his blue side once again. Do you expect to see this from these Udyrs? It'll be interesting to see the pathing by Cinkrof versus Hadess as well, because both of them are starting top side of the map. See if that means anything for where the Crabs contest comes out, or if Cinkrof does mean it'll be a little bit slower towards a gank on Adam if he wants to go for one early anyway.
I think that's fine though, as long as you're not getting the lane disrupted. I think Irelia is okay in the 1v1. It's just she is vulnerable to ganks. So if Hadess isn't showing attention there, I think you're fine with Adam holding his own in the 1v1 matchup.
Saken and Baca just exchanging mana flow stacks at the moment. Hadess did a pretty good job on his clear at the moment. He's taken away his Krugs and is now matching a little bit in the camp clear as Baca lose a pretty heavy trade here to Saken.
Yeah, that was actually a nice
shield.
Nice outplay. Saken dodging the Q from the Orianna, and things will actually become problematic if Baca starts to struggle here, because Hadess is kind of relying on that mid priority if he wants to contest that skull. You can see already in the bot lane, this is very typical for an Alistar, especially with this AD carry matchup. The Alistar can't do anything level 1. If you don't have your combo, unless they walk into you, you're not really hitting a pulverize, and so you're always going to get shoved in this situation. And it gives an opportunity where xMatty is able to reset, potentially pick up a cull or just an early item. And it means Targamas can start to make a little bit of pressure. It's not much, he's just going to walk in, throw down a ward, but it gives them information.
Does need to be somewhat careful, as Plasma did just hit 2, but it's going to be that as Baca getting heavily chunked out by Saken in this mid wave. And this does mean with Targamas here, with the waves being need to court and Hadess just trying to kind of match up on the farming, should just be a crab in the bot side for Cinkrof, and he can probably just bolt towards the top side of the map and take the second crab himself. Was spotted out by a ward placed down by Plasma, so they do have at least that amount of knowledge to work with. But Targamas syncing up with his jungle and looking to try and contest more vision as Adam has also roamed over. This whole team are playing for Cinkrof right now.
Oh, they're looking for it.
They just flash over the wall. They get the bear stance. They get the flawless duet. Second Q comes in, and that's going to be first blood to Adam.
I mean, come on, Baca. You know that Adam's there. All you have to do is not die, and Dreedy's in a good position. The reason Adam came down was because the wave was pushing back. You can see now, if you look towards top, this massive wave has built up. So Adam was waiting for that. He didn't want to overstep. He's not playing Camille. He can't just dash away. So Adam had nothing to do on the map. All you have to do is not die, and Adam's just wasting time as he's waiting. But unfortunately, Baca oversteps, and it was a good execution from Cinkrof and Adam to catch him out.
It was almost instant as well. They were ready to go. Plasma does go for the flash and looks to bot xMatty underneath the tower. Means he has to flash out in response. Support flash for AD carry flash. Not too bad in the favor of UCAM there, as there is still a Hex flash on Plasma as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a Hex flash, very weird for that trade, especially when it is a Jinx. So gives a window, potentially an opportunity where UCAM can apply that pressure later. But Corp aren't stopping. They are still having Targamas move up around mid, and the wave position's so bad for Baca. It's just frozen for Saken in front of his tower, and he has to step up. No flash.
They're going to flash forward. They're going to lock down Baca, who will be cooked. The Cinkrof secures himself the kill. The wave was frozen, and now it will crash, and he will not be here for it. No teleport, no summoner spells. Really, really rough start to the game for Baca. 18 CS to 34.
Yeah, I mean, this is just bullying at this point. The flash being down gives an easy window to go for that play. The CC layering is perfect there. And now mid is finding a big advantage. Top lane, Adam having that kill puts him ahead in the matchup. Corp love playing around the solo laners, and it's kind of a repeat of game 1. It's just more focus going mid than top.
Ooh. Adam taking a pretty rough trade here versus Dreedy. He's able to Blade Surge and catch up on this farm, though. He does still have teleport, so he's just going to reset.
Okay, Hadess approaching level 6, and this is where we got to see something, because it's kind of been a pretty inactive early game again. Obviously, Skarner, when he does have the level 6, he can have a lot more impact, but I need to see UCAM start to do something, preferably around this bot lane. xMatty has no flash, the Skarner has flash. That should be a guaranteed kill, as long as they can set it up correctly, especially as when you look at what's happening, xMatty is consistently shoving in so that Targamas can roam. It gives you an absolute window.
Cinkrof is on the bottom side of the map. Nobody's really tried up for this dragon, as Adam is going to get himself the flawless duet stun. Misses out on the Vanguard's edge as one end has been popped by Dreedy. Adam just blade surging away from the demonic blade. Adam maybe looking to go back in, has stacked up that passive. He's just dodging out on the infernal chain.
Yeah, I don't think Dreedy needed a TP there as well, because the wave was going to push into him anyway. He could have just walked back, saved the TP to play around the map, but Adam coming in pretty heavy here.
Yeah, he has to be very careful. Luckily for him, Hadess doesn't have 6, but Adam's doing a lot of damage. 1 versus 2, gets caught out by the stun, knocked up by the Q. Adam's going low, Adam's going down, and Hadess secures the kill.
Does manage to find it. Adam just overstaying a bit too much, trying to crash the wave so that he can reset or move around, and ends up being caught out. Did they pinged a question? Wait, they've seen him now.
Oh.
I mean, I guess we'll see what happens after this, but yeah, Adam's trying to crash the wave, which is why he's fighting Dreedy in this situation, and it's an overcommit. You know your jungler's on the other side of the map. You know you're not getting the attention. It's really easy for Hadess just to pick this one up.
And as you can see, Plasma survived for a little bit, but now he has been caught out. The Zenith Blade comes in. He has nothing to work with. It's just going to lose half his health and walk away as Cinkrof going to continue to farm up here. Has got himself a lead growing over Hadess as he takes away the Wolf Camp. There's a Gromp as well, so Hadess could just lose his entire jungle camps here. Although Cinkrof has to be very careful. He's flashless and he is now isolated. Does get himself the bear stun off as Targamas is buying a bit of space. Cinkrof going to get boxed back as xMatty joins into the fight. The traps get layered down. A little bit of damage comes in. They impale and pull him over the wall. xMatty, not like this. It's a double kill for Rafitta.
Oh, I don't think xMatty expected that one. Hadess just drags him over into them, and they get a second kill. Easy pickings. And UCAM finally able to punish, make use of that Skarner ult as well. I mean, Cinkrof, no flash, no smite. You're not getting that Gromp when Hadess is here. It was just overstayed. And then... I mean...
Oh, it's so tragic.
Oh, that's a rough one. Yeah, not much to say about that. Just don't stand close to the wall. It's like, you know, people who at a zoo when they just like start rattling the cages and stuff. And this time the scorpion just dragged them into the cage, it seems.
All those videos of people tapping on the gorilla's window and then it punches the window back.
Yeah, don't mess with them. But yeah, so
gorillas and scorpions are scary.
I'd agree. I don't think people want to mess with scorpions. And this one, very easy to pick up kills with that lockdown. UCAM able to find some momentum. Mid lane, still a bit of a deficit, but Baca's been holding up okay. Does have that blue buff to help. And hopefully, at this point, Hadess is starting to make more of an impact on the map. His ult's coming up pretty soon, but for now, you see Maddie with some more alone time on the bot side. Both teams looking to group around this Herald. You can see Targamas already moved up, and Plasma is there, paired up with his jungler.
Yeah, a bunch of plates do get picked up by xMatty, so just extending himself a little bit of a lead. Curious to see if he tries to join his team or if he's just going to reset and head back towards the bottom side, as he does go for a reset and picks up a Noon Quiver. It's getting closer and closer towards that Kraken's lair. Adam has to be very careful as Hadess has the Impale again. Does have the Vamp Scepter, but Adam, one thing to face check, is going to find himself in a bunch of trouble. Flashes out, gets himself the stun, gets himself the lockdown. The Vanguard Jess is there. He's caught out by the Impale, trying to sustain, trying to heal. Adam is somehow still alive as he does go down back and secures the kill. Hadess is able to get out of this one as Cinkrof flashes him forward, gets himself the turnaround, and the shockwaves there. Back and secures the double kill. And Targamas too late to the play as he is just going to watch his team fall.
Looked like it was a close sort of face, I'm not gonna lie. It felt like maybe Adam had navigated out of it with that flash and then the stun, but UCAM, they bring the members, they're able to find the play. Plasma is there first, gets a lockup on a Saken, and the end result is 2 kills that they're gonna be able to translate into this Herald. Hadess surviving as well. So we're gonna replay off that one. So yeah, it looked messy. Adam flashes out, the stun means they don't actually get the Impale, and then Adam goes back in to keep them interested, he knows the TP's coming, but they are matched. And in this situation, Cinkrof can't really find a way onto Hadess. He's out. Plasma comes in. The stun is solid, but unfortunately, the follow-up is there for the Viktor. And at this point, there's no way that the Leona and the Udyr win out that fight. But the big talking point here is that Hadess, first ult, got 2 kills. Second ult, got 2 kills. The Skarner pick's working for them.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of work. You saw there was a moment in that as well where Adam didn't reset his Blade Surge on a minion because he didn't kill it. And then he panicked because he couldn't dodge anymore, he couldn't dash anymore, and that did cost him his life. But he's able to shove a wave in. He still has a large lead over Dreedy, and he is going to be able to pick himself up a plate, probably 2 here. Although he's going to respect Dreedy and step away. He's down a level to him, even with the CS lead.
Seen positive so far, I've got to say. And again, that Impale is coming up for Hadess. It's been 2 kills in Impale, so if we're looking to continue that one. The big thing is though, UCAM didn't get that first dragon. They haven't been able to get any plates. It's Corp and been finding those. So despite the fact UCAM are up in kills, it's still K-Corp keeping the gold even and with that dragon. And now looks like they're trying to get control over the bot side and look for the second dragon of the game. Hadess is in position to contest this one. TP is coming up very soon for the top laners.
Hadess is going to flash over the wall, caught out by the Zen Flame. The trap's there, the CC is on. Double headbutt comes in from Plasma. xMatty flashes away. Hadess will lose his life as xMatty is now excited and starting to do some serious damage. Baca has to flash away as the Chaos Storm will chase him. And it was just the one kill for KC, as UCAM will have to forsake the dragon.
Yeah, not sure what the plan was. AD just goes over the wall, gets caught between three, and it kind of felt like the positioning wasn't there initially. They weren't able to get on xMatty. They tried to chase him, but critically, xMatty having the flash and Hadess not meant the difference in that situation.
Adam's looking to steal away this red buff, although Dreedy will blast cone over the wall and spot him out. Dragon has been secured. Adam has the Vanguard's edge. Does not have that flash, and he's starting to run a little bit low here. Does secure himself that red buff, and now with Baca coming in, Adam has to be very careful. There's a shockwave available if they catch him. Actually dodges away on the ball, but the shockwave does hit. The Vanguard's edge just comes down, and Dreedy takes down Adam. AD slowed and rooted down by the gravity field, but Adam losing himself his life and handing a red buff over to Dreedy.
Yeah, Adam not doing so well this game. Kind of being caught out quite a bit and getting punished by the side of UCAM. It feels like game one, they were playing around him heavily. He was just absolutely destroying. But in this game where he hasn't got as much attention, it's starting to be a little bit over aggressive and a bit disrespectful of UCAM's top side.
Multiple times he's gone for the outplay and the outplay just hasn't happened. So this will lose him a bunch of plates in the top side, given over to his lane opponent. And I'd like to have a quick look at the gold individually.
Plates up there. Wasn't in range. He was denied.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And you can see that reflected in the gold, because even with Adam going down 3 times, he is equal in farm right now, equal in gold right now.
Yeah,
to his opponent.
Because Hadess threw the Herald, he will still get the gold, so he's actually able to get a pretty sizable amount in pocket, despite the fact he's got a pretty heavy CS discrepancy. But yeah, Dreedy not able to be rewarded with that, and is just about even with Adam.
And if you're wondering why Adam with a smaller KDA than Dreedy has got himself equal in gold, not a gold lead, he's equal in gold. Up marginally, he was able to find plates. That's the simple solution. He got 2 plates topside, and Dreedy didn't. Yeah. So even with all these deaths, he's still fine. He's got himself his Immortal Shield bow finished up, so these picks do slowly get harder and harder to deal with now on Adam.
I think it's kind of at a delicate point where Hadess is going. He's got flash.
Yeah, he's going to flash onto Saken and pull him in. They've got teleports to come out as the Chaos Storm's there. Saken able to dodge away. Now Adam has to be careful. Misses out on the flawless duet, and Shockwave was whiffed by Baca in the meantime. So a lot burnt and nothing gained for either team.
Yeah, I expected the instant Shockwave to follow on Saken. I guess maybe waiting for the flash, but realistically, they've burnt a lot there for very little.
He has to be careful. xMatty does a lot of damage, and they are just going to slide in onto Plasma. He flashes over the wall, and they're now just turning onto Matty. Matty's all alone. Stopwatch gets used. KC can't get to the AD carry in time, and Rafitta takes him down. Now Cinkrof's health bar is liquefying to UCAM as Targamas slides into the middle of 4. Here comes Dreedy onto the back line. It's already a double kill picked up by Rafitta as Adam's trying to do some work. He's got himself one. He's got himself the shutdown. Baca is low, but Adam is all alone. He's all isolated as UCAM will wipe the floor with KC.
Yeah, 4 kills for 1 in the end. Rafitta surviving for so long at K-Corp. They commit to a very messy fight. Matty thinking he's safe over the wall. Something we praised in game 1 was his over-the-wall positioning, but it actually came back to haunt him here. It provides an escape route, essentially, for Plasma to just jump over the wall and instantly look for the Jinx here. Combo comes in. There's no support coming in for Matty. Cinkrof is a little bit too late, and as much as the stopwatch buys time, they're now committing into this choke point without their AD carry. And Dreedy, he's coming in for this late flank. Cinkrof knows he has to get out. Saken is unable to move forward because of this, and the rest of K-Corp ends up falling in this big, I guess, mess of a team fight.
Absolutely beautiful from UCAM. Now they find themselves up in gold. You can see the damage dealt totally here as only one member of KC was able to push past the 1,000 damage mark there.
Yeah, I mean, Adam kind of enjoys the scenarios where he's diving on the back line, but the rest of the team definitely felt out of place. Matty obviously blown up almost instantly, but Saken as well couldn't really find a route in, and it just completely favored UCAM. They're able to use their CC, the disruption, and again, the terrain. When you're in those choke points, Very hard to deal with things like an Alistar and Aatrox. Not much wiggle room to evade them with.
Now you can see the tax is starting to get paid. Adam and Cinkrof have finished themselves up their QSSs. So
Targamas as well.
Oh, Targamas got his as well, just on that one as well. So it's only Saken and xMatty. I mean, the key
only
targets.
The targets you want to
only the key targets. But, you know, I mean, it now means Hadess doesn't really get a choice. I mean, it's just going to ult those two.
It's really sad for Hadess. He can only pick the Viktor or the Jinx as ult targets. I mean, in fairness, in a lot of fights, you can't get backline access, and you just ult whoever's closest and kill them. So it does still make sense, but it means the burden is even more on xMatty and Saken to have their positioning right. If the Skarner gets in range of you, you have no outs.
And Hadess is coming in onto the flank. He's looking for Saken. Plasma gonna jump forward, gets himself a two-man pole. As Targamas jumps onto the backline. xMatty is free firing away for the moment as Saken has lost his life. One of the key dealers is dead. Rafitta able to get the next one. Two members have fallen. Dreedy locked down momentarily, but they're looking for the turnaround. The slows are coming in. xMatty has to flash over the wall as the Herald is summoned, and UCAM take out two.
UCAM are starting these fights and they're finding them being... Oh!
Adam, he's gonna get bopped back, he's gonna get taken down. The shield from the bow is not enough. And this will be the turret.
And this is the 8-0 UCAM we expected coming into this. Game one was a rough one, definitely, but so much more proactivity here. They are starting the fight and they are dictating the pace. And it feels like Corp are just getting abused at this point. Right now, UCAM able to pick up their first dragon of the game and have a 3,000 gold lead. You can look at where that gold is. 305 for Dreedy, 5-1-3 for Rafitta, and Baca after that rough early game where he went 0-2, now 2-2-6. Now this beautiful combo from Plasma. Targamas does a good job disrupting Hadess from following up, but it's not enough. All that AoE, all that damage just absolutely destroys Saken, and then it's just them chasing down. xMatty does manage to get away on the back end of this, but it's so much burn, and once more, xMatty now flashless and going to be in a vulnerable position.
Pretty much willing to bet that he hasn't finished the QSS yet either, so really rough for him. Dontel and Adam loses his life. They lose that tower as well. They lose the dragon. They lose the tier 2 tower. Gold lead has now gone up to 3,000 gold in favor of UCAM.
And that's the thing, you know, you look at xMatty's items. So he's bought an Executioner's Calling. Obviously, the healing is a bit of an issue, cutting to the likes of the Aatrox. But, you know, still doesn't have a QSS. Still doesn't have that second item, whereas Rafitta already completed that full second item, and that's, as you said, there's the Skarner tax, but also the healing reduction tax. It's causing issues for Corp now, and if they can't keep their backline safe in these situations, they're just going to fall apart. And UCAM, they are setting these engages and finding these windows, and it's really coming off the back of Plasma and Hadess, these two grouping together, and you can see it once more. They're pushing into this blue side jungle to allow Dreedy to take this tower. Just this Alistar and Skarner just essentially forming a roaming death squad.
Just completely cutting off any opening for KC to play around this top side. So you can see the toggle on the vision, completely dark, nothing to work with. Blue ward does come out and doesn't spot out Hadess, as KC are kind of just forced to catch waves and wait out for a bit. Wait until they can get a couple of items onto xMatty, and then maybe they can find a good team fight for themselves.
And the big concern with this second mid tower down, it's just you have so far to walk from your nearest tower towards the Baron. I mean, you do have that top lane tier 2, but it means you have so much area to face check essentially. And it makes it so dangerous against the composition of UCAM. There's so much threat, and realistically, UCAM probably can find a window to start the Baron, and Corp just have to walk through the fog if they want to get there. And by that time, when you have the likes of an Orianna, a Kai'Sa, you very realistically could have finished it. Now, they are moving their attention down towards the bot side. Looks like they're not going to threaten the Baron yet, and that does give Corp a little bit of time where they can establish some vision in response. But you have that dragon coming up in 2 minutes 20. UCAM will no doubt look to be fighting that one.
Waves are just going to crash up in the top side. Adam really struggling in this game. 2, 5, and 0 on the Irelia. We highlighted him as kind of one of the standout players, and Dreedy, another standout player for UCAM, 3-0-5, having an absolutely stellar game right now on the Aatrox. Got 2 levels over Adam as well, as Adam doing his best to catch this wave. Will be able to do so as Dreedy looks for a potential dive as Hadess is coming in, as the Infernal Chains will pull Adam back, and Hadess might just bolt towards Adam, although that's going to be enough to zone him away.
Yeah, I think it's not worth it with the QSS there, but you apply the pressure, you force them back. Corp can potentially look for a play topside on a Baca, but I think Baca just backs off after that wave. don't want to play disrespectful, and you can pick up another tower, just further bolstering that gold lead they've already had picked up.
Adam, I'm not really sure you can even take this fight or contest this, so you might just have to wait until the wave hits your tower, although even with that, he might be in trouble as Hadess is in the area, speeding in towards him. Is going to miss the flawless duet, and there's the stun. They're just going to layer the CC onto Adam after flash away, uses the QSS to cleanse away from the Impale, but that was a lot burnt by Adam there to be able to survive that.
Yeah, just get away with the assistance of his team, and UCAM aren't going to be able to take out this tower straight away. They want to reset in time for that dragon that's spawning, but flash now unavailable for Adam, and critically, the QSS not going to be an option either now. I think Hadess, his ult should be just about coming up by the time the dragon spawns, so it's not too much of a concern. But yeah, next dragon, 40 seconds. UCAM going to beeline straight down there and look to get vision control. And I think Corp just give this one up. I think they'll probably try and get some vision around the Baron. What you want to do in this situation is you want to get some wards that hopefully aren't going to get swept. So you'll throw one, there's one against like that wall to the left where you can put one down, and hopefully it doesn't get swept, so you know if they're going for the Baron. Instead, it actually looks like Targamas is potentially looking for a pick, but no one from UCAM is really even playing towards the top side right now. Adam
has to be careful, able to dodge away on the crystal shard, so he won't get slowed or stunned. Adam just forced onto weak side right now as xMatty, kind of the component king right now. Got the building towards the mortal reminder. He's got the zeal. He's just got components and one full item. Here comes the ultimate. It's just about dodged out. That would have been enough to steal if it hit someone.
Yeah, but again, Corp don't bother to contest in that. They know they're not in a position to. And the thing is, they still have these scaling carries on the backline. It's not looking good right now. And really, it comes down to the teamfight execution, because it doesn't matter how far ahead Saken and xMatty end up. If they just die instantly, they're dead. If there's a good engage coming out from UCAM. But regardless, if you manage to buy time and get some gold in their pocket, get them to their scaling points, Corp definitely have a window to come back in this game. But for now, it's kind of just giving up pressure. They are going to look to sweep out the vision. There is a ward in that tri-brush, so a TP is an option, but they are sweeping out a fair bit. There's still a couple of wards in the jungle that haven't been swept right now, so Corp don't have to face check too much when they're walking through. But it's UCAM now trying to get control. They want to pick, ideally, and they can translate that straight into the Baron.
Well, Saken might be that pick. Remember, he doesn't have it, but the flash comes in from Cinkrof. Hadess has to jump away, taking a few tower shots. xMatty, no ultimate. And Hadess goes low as the zap ends onto Plasma. Targamas may just look for the turnaround, has to pop the Unbreakable Will. Taxis back out to Targamas, who locks him down with the Solar Flare. They've got the zap to follow as well. They're going to follow him over with the Blast Cone, and Plasma gets a knock up, but he will lose his life to Cinkrof. Here comes Rafitta onto Cinkrof, looking to answer out for a kill, but Baca is going to get taken out as the Shockwave won't pop in time. Kai'Sa come out on top of this fight.
Just a messy one from UCAM, committing to Saken under the tower. They don't have the ability to catch him. The flash is still available and they get taken out. And now they're looking for this Baron. Dreedy actually had his TP cancelled there, so he's not going to be able to join that quickly. I think this is just going to be gone before he even turns up.
Yeah, teleports come in from Adam as well. Rafitta going to struggle to even get close towards this Baron. It's secured for Karmine Corp, as that was a much-needed fight and Baron in their pocket, able to pull the gold lead back to 2,000 off the back of that one.
And this was just desperation. We were talking about the vision control. You want someone to face check into you. You shouldn't be diving a tower like this. You don't have... you know that Saken has a flash. You know he's going to be able to create that distance. And then you don't have the team members with you to turn this into a contest. There isn't a position right now for Dreedy to TP. And I believe at some point he starts channeling, because it does go on cooldown. But the fight's breaking out here, starts to become a concern. I think it's probably at this point that Dreedy, starts channeling the TP there. And we see Adam cancel it, so no assistance coming in. Just a very messy play from UCAM. If you're going to go for a play like that, you don't dive the tower, first and foremost, because it just makes things more difficult. Secondly, make sure Dreedy's in a position to teleport so that you can have the numbers you need to win that. And ideally, you don't even go for an aggressive play. You wait for someone from Corp to face check into you. But just messy from UCAM, a large part of their lead thrown away. And as we're talking about, Saken and xMatty are on these scaling carries.
Yeah, and xMatty actually just finished up his Hurricane, but Plasma not happy about that play as the Shockwave will connect and Targamas slides onto the backline. So the flare's there. Matty lands a rocket. It's a 1-for-1 so far as Matty trying to chase in, but here's the knock-up. Matty's going low. Cinkrof will go down as Rafitta gets himself a double kill. Here comes Adam, though, trying to put the damage in, but Rafitta is just popping off, sliding in. Rafitta gets a triple kill. Matty's resetting, looking for the chase, looking for the turnaround, but it's going to be another one. It's going to be the turn here. It's a shutdown for Matty, but only one, remember, remains here for KC. And Saken can do diddly squat versus these UCAM 2. He is trying to get the kite. He's trying to get the time, but he just can't find it. Dreedy will slowly but surely run him down as the Infernal Chains will seal the deal. UCAM find the ace.
Huge team fight win coming in for UCAM. Rafitta on fire in that one, getting the triple kill with a beautiful outplay. 9-2-4 now. Still a bit messy. Dreedy joining the fight very late, but we can see the replay. It actually started really bad for UCAM. The Shockwave on a 1 that's buffered by the Zenith Blade, not ideal. And Baca is exploded, and that gives K-Corp the momentum. You can see Matty pushing up, but Rafitta with his beautiful outplay. The combo comes in from Plasma. Saken is looking, and then Adam tries to dive in onto the Kai'Sa, but this ult to dodge the stun is so good. It means that Adam doesn't get the reset. And then this is when Dreedy turns up. It's a little bit late, but Rafitta using the invisibility in the queue to trade 1-for-1, and then it's just a cleanup. These two are too tanky for Saken to kill by himself.
It was so close to being a good fight for Karmine Corp, but ultimately it was not. And with that, a lot of gold just got injected onto the Kai'Sa. Rafitta in a very comfortable position right now. 9-2-4. Got 3 items built towards that Infinity Edge. And look at the damage dealt in that team fight.
Yep, it's a one-man carry. And Rafitta really is the big carry for UCAM when it comes to those clutch situations. Absolutely doing the work there. And just off the back of Dreedy and Hadess not having died, they're able to just pick up the dragon for free while everyone else is resetting. One thing to note, though, is it was Matty who picked up the shutdown on Rafitta. It was 900 gold, I believe. So I actually like to have a look at the gold numbers. I think they should be probably pretty even at this point. Actually, Matty ahead, so I think there's plates from Irelia coming in. But the shutdown a big factor, the extra CS a big factor. But yeah, so Matty's still up in gold. It's really sort of the top and mid where there's massive advantages for UCAM, which is surprising because typically those are the lanes we've seen K-Corp play around within the EU Masters. And right now, they're not really having too great a time.
Although, keep in mind, when we were looking at that gold, Matty is sitting on 2k right now. So he is up in gold, but a lot of that gold is currently in his inventory and not actually put into items. And the big problem he has is he's full of slots. So he can only finish items at this point. He's got himself the QSS to deal with Hadess. He's got the Executioners to deal with Dreedy. So it does have the kind of utility items finished up as Saken has now finished his QSS. So the taxes are paid. Karmine Corp can now deal with Hadess on the Skarner. But it's a 2-item Adam. Adam is just significantly far behind. Matty, level 16, while Adam is level 14. This is the solo laner who is down 2 levels to his AD carry. Now, Plasma does need to be somewhat careful, although he has got his team in the area.
Yeah, not a good game for Adam, in all honesty. Definitely some rough spots in this one and has been put really far behind. I think it's difficult playing these team fights as well. Into a Kai'Sa with the invisibility, with the ult to reposition. It's hard to connect as the Irelia. And realistically, you only have... I mean, you have Cinkrof and Targamas if you dive buddies, but they're not offering too much damage onto this backline. You kind of need Saken and Matty to connect. And if they're kind of in range, they can potentially be vulnerable. It's a lot of messy fights, ultimately, for this one. But UCAM, 3,000 gold up in this game. 45 seconds on that Baron. But I feel like you could just wait for that Mountain Soul. I think it gives you a massive advantage, especially considering the extra shielding for Rafitta and Baca can make it... Oh, they could actually look for this.
Good traps as Rafitta actually slides in onto Matty. Matty has to be careful. Targamas is there, but that's the shutdown. Rafitta takes him out like it's nothing. And Targamas is next. A double kill for Rafitta.
That's the play you were waiting for. We're talking about you want someone to face check in the bot lane of K-Corp. hand you it on a plate. Rafitta dives in with complete confidence, cleanse and flash back up, and now they're looking for more.
They're going to flash over Adam's shield bow is popped already. Tries to look for the stun as he does look down a couple. Rafitta unable to get closer, and Adam trying to kite away. Plasma will take him down now. It's only Cinkrof. It's only Saken. There is no Baron, so they'll take the inhibitor, but Saken should be able to clear through this wave with a laser beam. Just has to be very careful not to get hit by the CC. Slowly but surely burning them down as now they're going to jump in. Box Cinkrof back. Cinkrof has to flash away. Trying to fire out, trying to trim the wave, but the first tower will fall. Hadess, low HP. The Impale comes into Cinkrof, and now the tower goes down. Targamas is here. Rafitta's putting the damage up, able to find himself yet another kill. The Nexus is laid bare, and UCAM will equalize the score. It's one apiece.
They managed to answer back. It was definitely on the wire. Rafitta with some clutch outplays in the team fights, but it just felt like the top side didn't go nearly as well as game one, and that kind of forced this really big sore point for the side of K-Corp. Adam, it was a mess, that game, in all honesty, and this backline of the Viktor and the Jinx never got to the point where they could remain relevant, and Rafitta just on this Kai'Sa on fire that game.
I mean, it's one of those things we do see UCAM typically like to play through their bot lane, and that is why. Dreedy also played just a stellar game versus the star player in Adam. Honestly, a fantastic game, and it means we have a series on our hands, but for now, it's time for a break. See you in a moment.
welcome back to the EU Masters semi-finals as UCAM even out the series here in Game 2. And ladies and gentlemen, we will have a series.
Are you sweating?
I'm not.
Don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy fashion we got it in as well. I love the fact that we got to see UCAM finally be proactive, though it was a bit of a disaster in the early game. 2 kills going over to Adam in the beginning, very struggling for them. But then after that point, it was UCAM who was first on the rotation every time. It was them who made the first rotations, specifically Plasma was... We highlighted Targamas earlier today with his roaming, but my god, Plasma in this second game was absolutely amazing and doing just the same thing.
Honestly, I have to give props to my boy Rafitta. I said it was gonna have to be through his back that the whole team's gonna get carried through. I would really love in general to see how much damage in general he's done this entire game, because every single fight that was highlighted, Rafitta's damage done was off the charts every single time. Even the way the game ended was off of Rafitta's assassination on that Kai'Sa. He sees xMatty, he eye-to-eyes xMatty, he's like, you're going down.
Yeah, and I like the fact that UCAM have been able to capitalize on the many mistakes that Corp made, which is something we haven't been used to from them so far. I feel like a lot of things could have been avoided from Corp's side here.
I think this comes to when somebody's like a rookie and they're eager and they're fiery and they want to fight like Adam, and he picks the Irelia into Aatrox matchup. Irelia works in such fantastic ways where if you do take that little bit of a overstep, you might get punished, but you might make the pog play. And Adam unfortunately went for the pog plays and got punished.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me of the Sop-Up series as well, where it seemed a bit disrespectful because they were on the right track in the early game, but then all of a sudden these skill checks, these overstays in a lane where you had no vision security for you, it all came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden UCAM was just ahead of the play.
Insane performance from them, and we expected some adaptation, especially in the draft after the game 1. So let's take a look at what they did here, because we were talking about it backstage. Kind of surprising that they give the last pick to Alistar, but then in the end, it felt like everything was planned.
I was so confused because I'm like, Dreedy had such a harsh game in the first, but he wasn't allowed to. And you know what? He came up and he was like, I want to play this matchup. I don't care what Adam picks. Literally, all his picks are on the board except the Darius. I will pick the Aatrox again, and we will make it work. And you know, even at the start, Dreedy was not having a really great game. His wave was frozen under Adam's tower, but then Hadess comes into play, and then Rafitta gets the kills, which frees the pressure of the bot side of the map, and then unlocks the support masterclass that Plasma gave this game.
And it's just the fact that UCAM came to fight Corp on their turf as well. You take a look at this composition, Bruce is in the top side, Control Mages in the mid lane, and Carries to play for in the back line. So this was just incredibly well played for them, and now you talk about a support a bit trouble there. You can see them behind you. We highlighted Targamas in the start of the day, but this time around, Plasma, he really showed up, and then we saw him on champions like the Thresh earlier throughout the tournament. We saw him on his favorite Rakan. This time around, he brings the Alistar into the picture, and he's just absolutely smurfing the rotations, his positioning in fights, when to utilize the flash. There's a moment where it looked like he's being caught out, and then all of a sudden he'll find an engage onto Matty in the backline, and Rafitta will just be joining in together with him. Like, it's honestly masterclass play from this support.
And honestly, he kind of like shut our mouths as well, because we're like, Dreedy R4 Aatrox, and then you last pick the Alistar, and then Plasma turns around, he's like, that's why you last pick the Alistar. It was absolutely beautiful to
and
watch.
Set up his ADC quite nicely here, because it was a show about the bot lane, I feel, for UCAM.
It was. It had to be Rafitta. Even in the first game when they lost, Rafitta had done so much damage, and now having so much agency, so much backline dive, so much mobility onto the Kai'Sa, I think it kind of freed them. When they got the 2-0 on that Kai'Sa, you sort of saw UCAM completely get unlocked. They're like, fine, now this guy can handle it on his own, and then Plasma roaming around the map. So it was all about Rafitta from the start.
And we also ask ourselves the questions, can UCAM come back? This was the first loss they took in the entire tournament, and especially when it was in such a rough manner they fell behind in the early game. Baca just died 2 times in a row when he got back to lane, was put so far behind. Somehow, some way, they still make it back, and he was still a facilitator in those fights. Yeah, he didn't do much, the shockwaves were not always on point, but when it came down to it in the most important team fights, they were there. He was there with the shields and movement speed for Rafitta as well, with the Alistar composition as well. Like everything, like the way this team got to get back into the game, both physically by playing it, but also mentally, it was beautiful.
And again, it's incredible to see these young players coming together in the important moments.
Baca's a rookie at EU Masters. Like that's so insane. Dreedy,
it.
Baca, like all these new players who's entering the European stage. Every European Masters, we ask ourselves the questions. Will we have new talent coming in? And at this point, yes, every goddamn year there will be new talent coming into the European Masters.
We surely do. And now it's do or die for both teams, actually. We know that Corp selected blue side for this last game. Any predictions we can throw in before we send it to break?
Whoa, so I think this is going to be huge for Karmine Corp getting the red side, because then they're going to have the counter pick onto Adam,
blue side,
which is really... Oh!
Yeah, they have blue side. Yeah.
They have blue side. That's interesting. Okay. I'm lost for words then, because I thought that we're going to get the counter pick, but then Dreedy didn't get the counter pick on the red side, so I'm counting on it.
Well, I'm sure they're looking for specific first picks here, so either so they feel confident in their matchups or with the Jinxes here, but I'm going to put out my prediction here and say, Dreedy, yeah, I let you down when I went for Makers, but this time around, all right, I'm going to give you the support all the way. I'm counting on UCAM to take this last game.
Some support love feels nice. It's all or nothing for both this team, and Corp and UCAM have had a great tournament, but only one of them can get a shot at BTXL tomorrow. Find out who after the break.